Hello, and welcome to US History Elections, where following the recent primary elections held on Tuesday, June 23rd, I'm going to be looking at some of the primary results that have come out. And I'm only going to be looking at select races, as quite a lot of them, the incumbent, easily won their primary, and many ones such as, the 17th district in New York, there's not really much competitiveness or much focus on some of these races, as they're definitely going to be going to either of the candidates, and especially in the 17th district, the Democrats will win there when it comes to November. However, I'm going to be looking at a select few races where the results have been quite interesting. And first of all, I'm going to be looking at probably the most interesting out of all states. I'm going to be looking at New York first of all, and this is the 16th congressional district, which is in the Bronx, and it might contain part of Westchester County. However, mostly in the Bronx. And as you can see, the incumbent Elliot Engel lost by quite a large margin to the challenger Jamal Bowman. And this is quite an important thing, as Elliot Engel is one of the most high-ranking Democratic congressmen. He was chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee. However, he will no longer be the sitting congressman for the 16th district, as Jamal Bowman has won against him. And Engel had definitely not made himself very popular. Bowman is definitely the progressive challenger in this situation, and Engel had said some very controversial comments about the George Floyd killing back in the end of May. And ever since then, it's been definitely shifting in favour of Bowman, and there's not really much of a surprise, but it's still quite a surprise to see such a prominent Democratic politician lose his seat. And now we're going to be looking at quite an important one as well, the New York district of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and she easily won her re-election, taking over 2/3 of the vote against the more centrist candidate Caruso Cabrera. And Michelle Caruso Cabrera had been funded by quite a lot of Wall Street. They had the strong backing of her, and following AOC's upset back in 2018, which followed quite a lot of the progressive wave that hit the House back in 2018. It shows that there is still a strong support for her, even much more stronger than when she defeated her incumbent challenger, who I think I've forgotten the name of at the time, but there was an incumbent challenger who was, again funded by Wall Street, and this time the Wall Street funded candidate has come nowhere near to Cortez taking over 50% of the vote difference between the two candidates. And now this is also a very interesting one, 15th district. The incumbent is retiring, and as you can see, there's a very mixed field with 4 candidates getting, let's just look at this in more detail, 4 candidates, well actually 5 candidates getting over 10%. However, the favourite was always Richie Torres. As you can see, this race hasn't actually been called yet. However, Richie Torres, he was the leading candidate for most of the race. However, being one of the most democratic congressional districts in the entirety of America, it is pretty surprising, as he has a history of homophobic comments. And as much as he is widely regarded as progressive, it's quite interesting to see that voters did still decide to vote him in, with roughly 4,500 vote difference to the runner-up, Michael Blake. And now I'm also going to be looking at the 12th district, which has also not been decided yet. The incumbent Carolyn Maloney narrowly leads the progressive challenger Suraj Patel. And as you can see, this is quite close, in, less than 1,000 votes separating, roughly 600 at the current time. And as much as there's 100% reporting. There's still probably going to be the odd mail-in ballot that hasn't been counted yet. And, we're going to have to wait for a certain time to get the results out of district. And that's also what I'm going to be doing when I look at the Kentucky Senate, which is right here. As you can see, only 35% are reporting across the state of Kentucky. And this was in the news recently, as over 2,300 polling stations were initially planned to open. However, when it actually came to voting day, only 200 across the entire state were open, and especially places such as Jefferson County, where Louisville is, only one was held for over 600,000 registered voters. And of course, some of not just Jefferson County, but the surrounding counties as well, encompass that one polling station which was open, and there was quite a lot of discontent and backlash against this. And that is why we are not seeing, a majority of the counties have not actually reported their findings, their results back yet. And that's why we see Charles Booker, the progressive candidate, and Amy McGrath, the national Democratic, more centrist candidate. It is way too early to call now. However, this would be quite a discerning victory for Booker or McGrath, especially for Booker, as he's a progressive candidate, especially in Kentucky. The Lexington, Cincinnati suburbs going to be quite interesting to see what comes out there. And of course, Louisville will be Breonna Taylor. That was where that happened. And Booker was relying on huge voter turnout in these areas to try and carry him over the line, because of course, Kentucky is widely regarded as a conservative state, with McConnell easily winning his primary, even though, again, 35% is only reporting. And it's going to be very interesting to see who actually comes out on top. However, the actual results are not due to come out until next Tuesday, so I'll probably provide an update in a video after that. And finally, I'm going to be looking at a primary for not the I'll use the Democratic result. Mostly the Republicans in the North Carolina 11th congressional district, and this is in Western North Carolina. This is right in the heart of Appalachia, and despite the urban center of Asheville being located here, which has been redrawn, this map has been redrawn though recently to include that. David Cawthorn, who was the challenger, this guy is 24 years old, beat Linda Bennett, and Linda Bennett had been endorsed by Trump. And as you can see, this is a very healthy margin. Of course, this seat was held by Mark Meadows, who recently resigned last year and took up the position of Chief of Staff in the White House. And that was one of Trump's key allies in the House. And the candidate that he did endorse, lost by, almost double the votes to Cawthorn, who would be the youngest congressman in, roughly easily 60 years, half a century, as he's not even 25 yet, which is, the required age to be in the House of Representatives. However, he will reach that age by November 3rd. And as much as this is a Republican-held district, most of the projections are, for a likely hold here. However, you want to compare the amount of votes, because almost all the votes have been taken in, 46,000 to the Democratic on over 100,000. That is probably not the best sign, especially in places like Buncombe County. That is where Asheville is. The amount of votes there is staggering. Almost half the votes cast in this primary for the Democrats came from there, and a lot less for the Republicans. However, they'll get roughly the same from the rest of the counties, but that is not the best side to see, that they are almost double the votes in favor of the Democrats in North Carolina, which is a key state, and especially this district is also a key district for the Republicans. So that's all the races I'm going to look at today. Of course, not all the results have come out yet, but these are probably the most important and focused upon states. So any of the still contested races such as the 12th district in New York. I'll be doing a follow-up video, and the Kentucky Democratic Senate primary. Uh, I won't make a specific video for them, but I'll probably include the details at the start of the video after Tuesday next week when the Senate results are finalized. And thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all again soon.